Welcome, everyone. My name is Dave Tontini. I'm the head coach at Oakville Aquatic Club. If you haven't seen me out and about on deck or at a competition, then I'm sorry. But hopefully most of you recognize my face and have seen me around. And thank you for being here. We're going to be as concise and clear as possible. I know everyone's very anxious and probably really excited to get some of the answers to some of the questions or the mystery surrounding these town halls. Hopefully by the end, all your questions will be answered. So moving on or starting our agenda for today, some of the topics that we're going to be discussing, and not actually necessarily in this order, but the big topics will be the evolution of our Oak program and the new step in our structure, an overview of next season and what the program is going to look like, the group structure for next season, how this is going to help support swimmer development, because that's the main purpose whenever we make little changes and tweaks, what it's going to mean for you, your families, for athletes, and how this is going to create more opportunity throughout the club. And we'll get into some of the specifics of the nitty gritty. And although this call is not, we're not here to celebrate all our success. We do want to recognize that we've been doing really well as a club and as an organization. And I want to take the moment to thank, first of all, our swimmers, any swimmers that are on the call, for their commitment and for upholding our Oak values. And all their hard work, I think, has really paid off. We've seen that in the results, that the success the club has had. And a big thank you to our parents for your support of the club and for your patience as we continue to go through some of these changes. And of course, a huge thank you to all of our coaches for their commitment to excellence and the commitment to our Oak values and to giving the best possible program for our Oak athletes. This year, we were recently ranked 5th in the country after a short course season, which is a huge success. You might be a parent of an acorn swimmer on the call and say, what does that really mean? It means we're doing really well. And we've had some success. And I think a lot of that success is due to some of the changes and the evolution that we've made in supporting athlete development. And the changes that we're instituting for next year are just a continuation of that, of those changes and of that support of our athlete development. All right, swimmer impact. I want to start out by thinking, if you've ever been in a situation where you found your swimmer has moved up groups really quickly, for example, 2 or 3 groups within a calendar year, within one season, or if you've ever skipped, gone right from mini oaks to a youth group and skipped, or if you've ever found yourself in a group where you thought it wasn't the right age or fit, or if you've ever been confused about the club pathway and where do you go at the next step after you graduate a certain training group. If you've ever had any of those, been sitting there and having any of those issues, we feel that these changes are going to address some of that. And we know that a lot of those issues are going to be kind of solved through some of these changes that we're instituting. And specifically for swimmers, we think we know that this is going to be better group fits, better training group fits with the changes that are instituting. And really important, we want to give the athletes more time to develop and more time at each training stage to build their skills, build their confidence, and to get enough exposure at a certain level before they move on, and have the right appropriate team or appropriate group for their training needs. And that's always been a focus of ours to give our athletes better access and more exposure, especially at early stages, to set them up for success for long term. And we feel that these changes that we're going to speak about do just that. So that's a big part of the swimmer impact, positive swimmer impact that we're going to see. From a parent standpoint, like we spoke about, sometimes our pathway, because of our ages and our age overlaps, you can be 11 years old right now at Oakville and be in 3 different streams and many different groups. So creating a clearer pathway that's simpler to understand, and then also a stronger long-term model for our athletes to continue to have success, continue to improve throughout the club, and really purposeful progress. So instituting a structure where we have really targeted skills, technique, and training at each stage to set our swimmers up for success, so that it's purposeful and not accidental, that success. All right, let's talk a little bit about the evolution of the Oak program. So every year, for the past three or so years or seasons, we've had some changes, changes to group names or changes to the ages within each group. And these have always been targeted on getting the athletes in the right spot in the right training group that's the right fit for them at their stage in their swimming career and the stage of their development, like physiologically, and how old they are. And that's really important in swimming. Um, a lot of the changes that we're instituting are one big major goal is to reduce the age overlap that we have between groups. Like I spoke about, you can be an 11-year-old swimmer at Oakville in many different places. And we have within our streams that exist right now, there is an overlap. So when you graduate or age out of a certain stream, sometimes you have to skip a step, specifically in that what's currently mini oaks into our development program. You might have to skip a group, and that's not conducive to long-term development, to getting the right amount of the appropriate skills and training at each stage. So we really believe that this new structure is going to create a better foundation for our athletes, give them more time at each age, reduce a lot of those bottlenecks within our club structure, and subsequently a lot fewer cuts over the course of time. The last 3 years, we've had too many swimmers at certain stages or certain ages. So we've unfortunately we didn't have place for everyone, and some people have had to leave the club, which is not what we want. So this new structure will provide more opportunity and more space for the ages of swimmers that have a higher demand, and just a consistent progression throughout the club. So that's the direction we're going. And these are changes that we've instituted and part of our major philosophy to support athlete development. And we're going to continue to do that. All right, let's talk about the new Acorns. So Acorns, moving forward, is now the stream or the brand that encompasses both what is currently Acorns and Mini Oaks. So our Acorns program and our Mini Oaks program is emerging together to be one program. Very exciting. It's going to be called Acorns. 6 groups. Everyone gets to train 2 times per week. So there is no more 1 time per week program. This gives more training opportunity for our swimmers at this crucial stage. Really, we feel 1 time per week is just not enough. Not enough swim access, not enough exposure to improve and get the skills necessary to get to the competitive level. So everyone gets 2 times per week. The way we'll see this when the training schedules come out, but Acorns is typically at Applebee's on Saturday morning, and all of October, Applebee's is closed. They got open houses and Thanksgiving and everything. We just have no training for Acorns in October, which is also not conducive to them getting better and training. So the new structure will also help mitigate some of those issues, make sure that we're able to train in October. This program is designed for swimmers 9 and under. We'll get into ages in a moment. And this is really the right amount of training and the right skills and program for that age if you're looking to go on and be successful in the sport of competitive swimming. So we're finally there. We finally reached it. Just like Mini Oaks used to have 3 in-house competitions, so will Acorns moving forward. So we have 3 competitions throughout the year around November timeline, February and June, and everyone competes. They'll compete at the events that are appropriate to their level, but everyone's going to compete. And so really, if you were a Mini Oaks or familiar with our Mini Oaks program, this is really what it is. We're keeping the brand of Acorns, and it'll be maybe a wider range in the program, but a lot of coach support on deck, really high feedback, and a lot of opportunity to improve. So Acorns and Mini Oaks now together, one program, and that's the base of our program. The new Mini Oaks. So Mini Oaks is now Acorns. But we are keeping the Mini Oaks names and that brand moving forward. And what is currently our development groups, Development 1, Development 2, and Development 3, which is the beginning of our true competitive groups and the beginning of our development stream. Those are now Mini Oaks, and we're calling those Mini Oaks. If you're in Development 1 group, is now called a Mini Oaks 1 group. And I want to reassure everyone, if you were in development, this is not a downgrade. That doesn't mean less training. It doesn't mean pre-competitive. Just a new name, but same Oak energy and same Oak competitiveness. So you'll see when training schedules come out and training hours that these are still same as the development groups were. What we're trying to do is remove a bit of the confusion around having development groups, a group named Development 1, Development 2, Development 3, and a whole stream that encompasses 6 training groups called development. So now we've kind of eliminated that issue. Our stream that has our 12 and unders, competitive 12 and unders, is still called development, but those training groups at that initial level will be called mini-oaks. And there are 4 of them, which we'll get into in a second. So that reduces a bit of that confusion. The program and the philosophy still remain the same. It's still highly competitive. We're still going to be the best development stream and the best 12 and under program in the province. We're one of the best in the country, really. So that's not changing, just the name. Competition opportunities remain the same as in development. So those groups generally race or compete about once a month. They go to some big competitions, some regional competitions, even provincial ones. And we even have some of those groups that are traveling to Montreal at the end of this year, competing in the SAMAC meet, which outdoors, which is really exciting. So those opportunities will still exist. Nothing's changing there, just the brand. So Acorns and Mini Oaks merges into one, becomes Acorns. That's the base of our program. That's sort of our pre-competitive, if you will, program. And then the first competitive level within our development stream is now called Mini Oaks 1, 2, 3, and 4. So great question on how often will the Mini Oaks groups train. So there'll be 4 groups, and those will be similar to what exists this year, with Mini Oaks 1 training the same amount as Development 1, 5 practices per week. Mini Oaks 2, similar to what Development 2 was this year, 4 practices per week. And then Mini Oaks 3 and 4 at 3 practices each. Great question. Thanks for asking that one. It's pertinent to what we were talking about. All right, hopefully everyone's with me so far, and you might be a 13 and over on the chat, and none of this has anything to do with you. We're coming to you, I promise. New groups. So we have some entirely new competitive groups that we're adding to our mix. And there are 3 in particular. So one at the youth level. So this will be a 4th youth group, and it'll be called Youth Black. New names, very exciting. And like we spoke about, a 4th, what was previously development, but now Mini Oaks, 4th Mini Oaks group. As well as a 3rd group called Oak Fit, which we're really excited about, which will be a 3 times per week group. It'll be a big, massive group. And this is a group that we're really excited about because it's going to provide an opportunity for more swimmers to continue to be a part of our club, continue to pursue competitive swimming. And it's for swimmers that might be coming into the sport late or maybe didn't quite crack our final list for our youth groups or our Mini Oaks groups, our junior groups. And just need a little bit more time for development, or maybe it's swimmers who are choosing to have a little bit more of a relaxed schedule. There's a lot of opportunity there. Those gives the big thing that we're excited about is that this is going to provide an opportunity, these 3 groups, for way more 12 and unders, and even some more 13, 14s to continue to be a part of Oak, of this great club. And that's a high demand age group. We have so many swimmers in that kind of 10 to 14 range that want to continue to swim for Oakville Aquatic Club, and these groups will provide more opportunity for that. So we're excited about that. And really important thing for the club, again, creating fewer bottlenecks at those stages where we just had way too many swimmers, not enough space. This will provide a little bit more space and give an opportunity for these swimmers to continue to develop long term. So we're really excited about these 3 groups, and we're going to get into how they fit within the structure in a moment. So the great question about where Youth Black's going to fit in, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But just important to remember those 3 new groups and providing a lot more opportunity for specifically 12 and unders, but really all the way till 14. Okay, this is an important detail that we're getting into, our age cutoff. So previously, in the last few years, we've been operating as July 1st as our age cutoff. So in other words, when you consider yourself, all right, this is a 9 and 10 group, or this group is for 11 and 12s, we used your age as at the end of the competitive season. And that was a philosophy to prepare kids for where they will compete at the end of a season, because those are where the big competitions lie as you get older. But we're moving that to December 31st. So essentially, your year of birth will be your age. Whatever age you are at the end of the calendar year, that's your age, your swimming age for the season, and that'll be where you fit in group wise. What this does is it allows us to avoid the age overlaps between streams, which has been a major issue and a major concern. So that will be gone, which will reduce a lot of those bottlenecks. And we also feel this is going to give us the appropriate training environment for each age group. Some of our older streams those groups will be a little bit older, so our senior groups and our junior groups. But then youth down, some of them, youth will be streamlined instead of having kids there. Sometimes we have 10-year-olds in there and 13-year-olds in there will be more streamlined. And then our mini oaks groups and acorns groups, really the right training environment for that stage and age that they are. So better alignment throughout the club, and a much clearer pathway. To make it more clear on what that looks like, here is I really like this graphic because it gives you an idea of age and stage from a different viewpoints or perspectives for each stream. So we spoke about how acorns is our beginner level stream. That is what previously was acorns and mini oaks, is now combined. That is 9 and under, age as of December 31st, the end of the year. So for next year, 2017 and later, and usually that's grade 4 and under. If you're super genius and you've been skipping grades, and you're in grade 9, but you're born in 2017, we're going to go with your year of birth. Okay, just so you know. But for those that are sticking to the normal grade pattern, this would be the school grades you're in. So we have acorns, and then that next level that we talked about, mini oaks, those 4 mini oaks groups, is designed for 10 and under. So if you're graduating out of acorns, there is age-wise, there's a place for you in mini oaks. The youth groups will be that next section up, and youth and mini oaks, both part of our development stream. Youth is for 11 and 12-year-olds, which is sort of where it was targeted at this year. School grades 6 and 7. No jokes. And then junior and senior, which are part of our performance stream. Junior being for 13, 14s, and seniors being for 15 and over, 15 to 17. And the school grades listed there, grade 8, 9 for junior, 10 to 12 for senior. So we think this is a lot clearer, no age overlaps, and this is going to be a really clean progression throughout the club. As you get older, you move up a stream, and then we'll see the different group options at each level. Keep in mind that there are exceptions to this, where there are some swimmers who are really, really advanced. For example, a 12-year-old who's really kicking butt and really advanced, and their technique's really good, and they're ready for a junior environment, then they might go to junior. But those are smaller cases, and those are exceptions. For the most part, if you're this age or this grade, you're going to that stream. All right. I'll be moving on. I know this slide's great. This is all going to go out, though. If you want to take a closer look at it, we'll have it sent out, because I know people love that stream. Okay, another way to look at our Oak program structure as we move forward. Again, acorns at the bottom. We have 6 groups. This is pre-competitive. Previously, what our mini oaks and acorns was, now into one stream. So we have 6 groups at that level, 9 and under, as we talked about. Then we move into our true competitive program. Mini oaks and youth is part of our development stream. 4 groups at each level. Have some new names using a color system for some, which we really like. Then up to that junior and senior level, which is our performance stream, 3 groups at each of those levels. Varsity, of course, we strongly consider varsity athletes part of our program. But once you graduate high school, you move on to either a program in the United States in NCAA, or here in Canada in U Sports, or maybe national teams as we have. And we always have a place for varsity athletes when they want to come back and train with us. And we do want to recognize that that is always the goal, is for our athletes to go and move on and continue to swim, and swim for life, and have the skills to swim for life, whether it's competitively or not. But the hope is competitively. So this gives you a little clearer picture of how the structure is built. And we think a much clearer pathway from stream to stream. And of course, Oakfit also in that mix. And it's off to the side, not because we were shove it off to the side, but because it encompasses youth age and junior age. So it's going to be a group for 11 to 14-year-olds mainly. That's how we're going to start it out. We'll see how that goes. But that's kind of where our high demand is. And we want to give an opportunity for more 11 to 14-year-olds to continue to access the program. So that's the philosophy behind that age group. So it kind of fits in our development stream, because we believe those athletes are development athletes that will continue to progress. But the ages are in both. All right. Timeline expectations. Just want to touch on, I know a lot of you will be asking, okay, well, when will we know what group we're in? How is it going to work? How much is it going to cost? Training schedule and these types of details. So we always endeavor to send group placements along with program fees and training schedule out mid-July. So that is our timeline for sending out. You should have, if you are youth age, junior age, or senior age for next season, you should have received an email about tryouts. If you have any questions about tryouts, if it's logistics, you can speak to the office. If it's questions about the swimming and about where your swimmer fits in, speak to your coach directly. If you haven't received an email and you know you're going to be youth age, junior age, or senior age for next season, then speak to your coach and make sure that you get that information. The tryouts are just an added opportunity to get our athletes who are a similar age together in the same pool, so our coaches can have a look at the athletes side by side. But they are by no means the be all and end all. What's weighted more is the season that you had. So your attendance throughout the season, your training ability through the season, your technique, your competition and performance, and how you've upheld the Oak values, your coachability, your attitude, all those things the coaches are going to weigh greatly as they do group placements. The trials are just that extra opportunity. And we think they've been really fun and great to get a good environment to get all the kids together. And you can kind of see where you stack up with people of a similar age. So if you have any more questions on tryouts, direct those to your coach. But please do pay attention to emails and be ready for those. If you're wondering about group placements, program fees, training schedule, all that information will come out mid-July. We hope to also have all coaching assignments out. They should be there as well. So we have as much information to you for that period. I think that's about it for me. So I'm going to set it up for question period now. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Please do stick around, because some of the questions might pertain to you. And just know, again, to summarize, we know that change sometimes can cause some anxiety, some discomfort, but we really, really see a lot of positive long-term and short-term effects from this group structure that we're going to institute for next season. And know that we always have in mind as our North Star athlete development. What is best for our athletes? What is best for our club? How do we create the best, hands down, swim club and swim environment for our athletes? That is always our driving force. And we believe that a lot of these changes are going to do just that.